today I've got another period inspired makeup tutorial review. This time it's about the 1930s. So yeah, what I did, just like with my 1920s makeup that I did like a few weeks, months ago, not sure. Anyway, is just look up makeup ads on Google, which have now disappeared from my screen and it refuses to get them back. My phone has been acting weird all morning, so yeah, I'm just going to ignore that for now. Point is, yeah, I just looked up old makeup ads because they really do show like the perfect view of the time, like the perfect eyebrows, the perfect blush, perfect lips, just perfect whole makeup look. Really like just the ideal of the time is what I'm going for. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this. Let's get started. So what I started out with today is the L'Oreal Paris Skin Perfection Moisturizer. It really actually does what it promises. Like, it's a good moisturizer, but it also works very well as a primer because it filters the pores. It seems to display sort of a Photoshop-ish blur over my skin, which is very nice. And then the foundations I use are these two by Maybelline, the True Ivory and Ivory. In the images I looked up, most of the makeup ads actually from the time aren't photos, they're actually more like drawn pictures. Either way, there didn't seem to be a lot of shaping in it, but I wanted to do some shaping. Like, I have a very bright lamp aimed for my face while filming, so yeah, it gets sort of flat if I wouldn't do any sort of shaping, so I just used two very similar shades of foundation to do so, and just blended them out with a damp beauty blender. Well, fake beauty blender actually, but works the same. And then I just applied the palest of those two foundations on a brush underneath my eyes. The brush actually is one of my favorite concealer brushes. Yet it came from eBay and was like extremely cheap. So yeah, that's surprising. Either way, it works really well. Then for powder, I used the Peggy Sage Translucent Loose Powder. Pretty much as always, it's still my favorite powder. I applied a whole lot of it around my eyes to make sure nothing creases there. And then also on my T-zone because I have very oily skin. And I didn't want to be extremely shiny. Like, I think matte was pretty much a trend then, so yeah. I also applied it around my nose and on my chin. And then just blended everything out with a powder brush so that all the foundation is nicely set. And then for my eyebrows, I decided to not start out with a very dark product. I used the NYX Tame and Frame Brow Pomade in Chocolate. And just zoomed you in here so you can actually see what I'm doing. My eyebrows are already very thin. I just really like tweezing them very thin so I can really go in all sorts of directions with them. But if you have thicker eyebrows, just work with what you have. Like, just make it look as, you know, authentic as possible. I just filled them in very thinly and then also made sure to make them as round as possible. There really seems to be a trend of that time to have the eyebrows as round as possible, and I gotta say it's very much against my nature to not have a very sharp arch in my eyebrows. Like, it felt really unnatural to fill them in this way. Either way, I also combed the hairs in place obviously to make them again as thin as possible and just, you know, as much the right shape as I could. Then I used the Naked Tree palette, which obviously, as probably everyone knows, has a lot of nude shades in it. And just did the entire eye look with that, but I actually started out with a very pale shade of nude around my eyebrows to make them stand out even more. Obviously, if you don't have the Naked Tree palette, any nude eyeshadow palette will do. And then on my eyes, I just started out with a very pale taupe shade on the lid and then a slightly darker taupe shade in the crease. The image I actually looked up was pretty much, it looked as if she was rarely wearing any sort of eyeshadow, just a very blended nude look. And then a lot of smokiness around the lash line and very heavy lashes, so that's what I went with. I did deepen up the crease a little bit more just because I think it looks nicer on me. And just made sure everything was very blended. And then I even grabbed the blending brush to blend it some more, so it really just looks as if, you know, there's just shadows on there rather than eyeshadow. And then I use a very stiff, very thin, small, tiny, well, you can see what it looks like, brush to apply black around my lash line. Doesn't have to be neat because we're going to blend it out later. It's not supposed to be an eyeliner, it's just supposed to be there. And I also applied it underneath my lower lashes, mostly on the outside. And for blending I used a pencil brush, just with nothing on it, just a bare pencil brush, and then just kept blending until it looked smooth and natural. And obviously also repeated that step on the bottom lash line. Then because I wanted the lashes to look even more smoky, even more deep, I also applied a little bit of black with an angled brush. Again, it's not supposed to look like an eyeliner, it's just supposed to make the eyelashes look darker and deeper and thicker. And then finally, I'm using a new mascara. Well, it's not actually new, I've had it for like 3 years before I finally started using it. But it's the Yves Rocher Sexy Pulp mascara because my Rimmel mascara is finally empty. I really love this mascara because whatever I do, it doesn't go clumpy on me. Like really amazing, really. Like I can apply as many layers as I want, which I did this time. And it doesn't go clumpy. You could also use false lashes obviously, but I don't like the feel of false lashes, so I prefer to just wear heaps and heaps of mascara instead. The eyes looked very doll-like, so I really did make sure to also put mascara on the lashes on the inner corners, not just the outer corners as I usually would. And then it was time to fill in the eyebrows some more because, I don't know, I just didn't find them dark enough in comparison with the lashes. Like on some photos they have very dark eyebrows, on some they don't, but I prefer the dark eyebrows look. For blush I used the Blush Up blush from Essence, in mostly the orange shade actually. Like it's an ombre blush, I mostly use the orange side. And I applied a whole lot of it, like in the photos I saw they were wearing a lot of blush. But a little bit lower than in the 20s, which I actually think like looks better, like having the blush a little bit lower. And then for the lips I also used orange. Well, orange is red. Yeah, actually it shows up way more orange on camera than it does in real life. Like in real life it's really like between orange and red, and on camera it seems very orange. Either way, it's a nice color. It's In Love with Ginger. And really a thing, by Rimmel by the way, really a thing of those days was to have the top lips, the cupid's bow very rounded. So I really tried to make sure to really have that look in there, and then just filled in my bottom lip like normal. Perfume I used is Evidence, or whatever sounds French, by Yves Rocher. Mostly because the bottle looks very retro-like. It's a very nice scent as well. It smells sort of clean is the best way I can describe it. For my hair, I gotta admit I'm not a very good hairstylist. What I saw in the photos is that the top looks very smooth and sleek, and then there were like tiny, very neat curls. My skills don't allow me, or lack of skills don't allow me to make very small curls. So I just tied up my hair and made my bangs look flat. And then that is the final result. I really had a lot of fun doing this look. Like I really love to apply makeup in ways that I don't usually apply makeup. Like over time periods this is very different. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching this. Thank you very much for watching and see you next time. Bye!